This is what the verse says, verse 1 onwards. Paul, who was a Jew, a Pharisee of Pharisees, he said, brethren, verse 1, Abba Father, yes. It says, brethren, my heart's desire, my mind's desire, and prayer to God for Israel is that they may be saved. As they say, I want them to be saved, because they are not. My prayer is for salvation. It says, for I bear them witness that they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. It means that you can be a very zealous man for God. But if you don't have the right knowledge, your zeal will hurt you. So it is not the desire that you have to want to serve God. You cannot serve God, but I want to. You can't until you have the right science. And look what happens in verse 3. What happens to them? It says, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and seeking to establish their own righteousness have not submitted to the righteousness of God. For the end of the law is who? The end of the law is who? It means that Christ came to put an end to what? To the law. And then Christ put an end to the law. However, they ignored it. They said, no, the 10 commandments of Moses are our guide. Christ says, I put an end to it. Look, even today there are groups that call themselves Seventh-day Adventists. They keep the Sabbath. Well, by putting an end to the law, all of that was cancelled. But they still keep the Sabbath. Oh, and they are not even Jews. They are Judaized Gentiles. A Jewish person is making a mistake. A Gentile is doing even worse, because it is not supposed to do that. So what happens? The end of the law is Christ, but not for them. They said, Moses still stands. Let's ignore God's righteousness. We are going to establish our own. You and I must be zealous for the truth. We have to be zealous. Because the Jews, let's read right there in Romans chapter 11, verse 28, so that you know what a Jew is to a Gentile. Romans 11:28. Romans 11, verse 28. Abba Father, yes, look what it says. Paul says, concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sake. But concerning the election, they are beloved for the sake of the fathers. Dear pastor, do you believe that the Jewish people are our enemies? No, they are not our enemies. It is their religion. I have Jewish friends. You have Jewish neighbors, and there are many Jews here in Miami. And maybe your boss is Jewish. And maybe the owner of the factory where you work is Jewish, and the company where you work may be Jewish. But when you talk about religion, they are your enemies if you touch the subject. I am explaining this to you so that you don't become enemies of a Jew. Nor will you mistreat them, because as far as the election of God is concerned, they are loved. Because of the fathers, God loves the Jews. God loves people who are wrong. God loves people who are in error. He loves them, waiting for them to get right.